Moving ahead. No traps, please. Pristine darkness in every direction. Silence, but for the gentle, rhythmic slap of water on rock as your vessel cuts through. An overwhelming force pushes into your mind. The brain. It is here.
Can you smell it? The brine. It's infused with magic. The brain is here.
No one stopped me yet. What path lies before me?
hatchet to the skull.
Stronger than before. Much stronger.
We've got to be close.
Dominated. Controlled. Chase. Devour.
Fleet of foot. Found my mark.
Sometimes the only way out is through. Time to press ahead. On your command.
Onward.
Found my mark.
Yes.
Scourge has
are rested enough.
Everything it touches.
At the ready.
Pride of the gate. I'll see what I can do. And I'm off.
Have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it. Have to keep going.
Execute.
Head is pounding.
Execute.
Deathly silence. The air is stale and putrid.
It's close. Have the stones ready.
Your blood slows. Your senses strung so tight they could snap in an instant.
You think you know why you are here? You think you can atone for giving me my power, child of Baal? By destroying me with the Nether stones? You are wrong.
It's messing with your mind. Don't listen to it. Use the stones.
By eliminating Ketheric, Orin, and Gortash, you have simply unbound me. Exactly as I intended. The crown is now mine to command. Mine alone.
Don't listen to it. Focus on the crown.
weakness. It is what made me what I am. You brought the crown to me, Baldur, thinking the army I amassed with it would become yours. Your plan was devious, your cruelty unparalleled. I would have followed it were your mind not destroyed by your sister. But with you gone, the three pitiful chosen fought like children in your wake. I gave them power to harm one another with, while I crafted my design. I used the chosen, while they thought they used me. But the orders are now mine to give.
I won't allow it. Again, dominate it!
When the parasite entered your ruined mind, you became a pawn in my design. Who do you think told the Chosen about the astral prism? Who do you think planted the knowledge of Orpheus's power and the fear of what it could do? When the Chosen sent my thralls to retrieve the prism, who do you think let the Emperor slip its leash, knowing it would be the one to bring you to me?
Were you a part of its plan?
I only needed one Netherstone loosened from the Chosen's grasp to guarantee my freedom. You brought all three back to me. In doing so, you have liberated me. This was your role, and it is complete. Now you will witness the grand design.
No! The abomination shall witness our vengeance! Refocus your efforts!
out just in time. The situation is worse than I thought. This is an Underdark, no longer. The magic of the crown has caused it to evolve. It has become something more. A Netherbrain. I thought so too, but that was when I believed it was still an Underbrain. It has been anticipating our every move from the start. I underestimated it. We will need to rethink our plan.
Another step forward.
Sometimes, freedom requires us to make sacrifices.
Keep a blade close. My Dum vita est, spes est.
Blade at the ready.
Fresh orders?
All right, what now? Swift as my feet can carry me.
Yankee's power will see us through. One last time.
Something's on my mind.
I have assessed our encounter with the Netherbrain from every angle. I know why we failed. The problem was not the stones. The problem was you. You can make only one move at a time, but the Netherbrain calculates every possible move at once. It knows what you will do. It knows everything you could possibly do. You cannot outmaneuver it. To defeat it, you would have to think like an Illithid. Better yet, be one. Your mind is not capable of this. Mine is. You will give the stones to me. I will assimilate Orpheus, and then I will be able to leave this prison to face the brain. I will consume his thoughts, his knowledge, his brain. In theory, yes. You have resisted such a fate so far, and this would be a complete evolution. And you will be an Illithid for the rest of your days. Is this really something you would be willing to accept?
Let's not be hasty about this. I think this warrants a more private discussion. Away from that silver-tentacled Illithid.
If we do not do this, all is lost.
So, we can't wield the stones unless one of us becomes an Illithid. I hope you're not actually considering this. Oh, we still have other options. We could free the Gith Prince with the Orphic Hammer. Perhaps he'll have a bright idea. Just consider the alternatives before throwing away that beautiful face of yours. That is a risky move, but if you think it's the right one, all right. Let's see how this plays out.
I trust you and stand by you. However you choose, I am at the ready.
To become a Mind Flayer, while retaining your sense of self, would not be a sacrifice. It would be an evolution. Embracing your illithid self may give us the greatest chance of dominating the brain and taking control.
I trust you have aired opinions and grievances and made your decision. Are you ready to become a Mind Flayer? Thank you. Now stand aside. I will assimilate the Githyanki's power in your stead. Do not judge me. Come, we must follow the brain's path. This time, we will not fail.
I think I'm going to be sick.
I can never unsee that.
It's time to leave.
Gods.
The choice is made. No room for regrets.
What now?
Can't give up now.
Through.
We can use stealth or force, just as long as we move quickly.
And move.
It's dark. Chris! You held the future of a people in your hands. How dare you take our prince from us? How dare you parade around this abomination? Mother Gith, hear me. Yis Githga Tavki
Time slows to a crawl while he scrutinizes you. In his eyes, his people's past and future, fighting as he tries to understand the true path, the right path, the weight of responsibility heavy upon him.
The enemy of my enemy is no friend to me. But I cannot let the Geich Empire swarm the astral plane. I will spare you. In fact, I will help you. But when the brain withers, so too does our alliance. It will not just be Vlaakith that hunts you, once the embers of battle cool down. Now go. I stand at the ready.
Open up. Cursed to put my hands on everything.
We have lost much already, and we will lose more before the day is out. But even when the last soul falls, Baldur's Gate will stand. For Baldur's Gate is more than just a city. It is more than a place of opportunity for those of mercantile spirit. More than a place of refuge for those who are lost. More than a home for friends, loved ones, and adventuring souls. Baldur's Gate is a place where anyone can find what they need, if they're just willing to fight for it. Today, Baldur's Gate needs us. Today, we fight for... You're late, friend. This is the one you spoke of.
The very same. The champion we've been waiting for. The one who will save Baldur's Gate from ruin.
The fist examines your illithid ally with suspicion. He was not expecting the savior of Baldur's Gate to be accompanied by a Mind Flayer.
Appearances may change, but they do not mask the one within. This one, I know. Observe with whom it travelleth. Friends. This Mind Flayer will fight with thee. It will save thy city and thy lives.
The fist eyes your illithid ally with suspicion, softening to curiosity. His hostility melting at the recognition that there's more behind those eyes than malice.
My steel is yours, and I'm not alone.
You helped me once. I figured it's time I paid you back. With magic.
I have marshaled the best the Flaming Fist has to offer. We will fight to the last.
Whatever strength I have to lend, I will lend it. I will make my city proud again.
Our city, Father. Today, I fight in your honor.
You can count on me, little rabbit, and your squiddy friend. I thirst for the hunt.
Not sure what I have to offer a Mind Flayer, if I'm honest. But I hope my words of encouragement and reassurance will strengthen your resolve.
I want my city back. And I've brought the toughest bastards from the guild to get the job done. My people have never hunted a monster this large. They are eager to join the fray.
All the strength of the lands we healed flows through me, and from me to you. And whatever company you keep.
Nature's servant awaits.
Glad to have you with us, and not a moment too soon.
The air is thick with anticipation. All eyes are on you.
Well said. We'll prepare ourselves. We'll be ready when you call upon us. Baldur's grace be with you.
You feel a tickle of mirth in the Emperor's thoughts. If they only knew the truth.
I have something to ask.
Bodies, bloods, this is the dream. Knew I was smart to sneaks in. The skelly boy said I could stay if I sold his stuff. So hurry up. Bye, bye, bye.
Dragons! Overhead! Stay low!
Fall back! Fall back! Matthew! Leave him be! We have to keep running!
Mind Flayer! Mind Flayer!
It's over.
There's a glimmer of something beyond his words, but in a moment it's gone, consumed with fear.
One...
Can't fit through here. Wonder if there's another way in. Still breathing, despite everything.
Watch and learn.
Need a throat slitting. Understood. Death comes quietly. Hush now. Right away.
Sacrifice in her name.
Let my enemies fall. No time to waste.
Fresh orders?
Blood comes easy these days.
Blade will not bend.
Another step forward.
On your command, I will not fail.
Time to push my luck again. One day, I'll catch a break. Cutting to the chase.
Favors the fearless. 2 steps at a time.
It's close. No doubt there'll be others.
Onward.
Defender of the people. Silence is gold. Just to be quiet as it would be. I found my mark.
I am listening. Advancing.
Sweet dreams.
your command.
There's blood in the air.
Well, so much for peace. Dreaming red. Better not be cursed. These boots have seen everything.
Looks like part of the Netherbrain, but we'll need to be higher up to climb it.
This is my time. Finding my way.
Nothing important is ever easy. With haste.
I thirst for combat. I seek an advantage.
The dance macabre. Let's go.
You will bleed for her glory.
Dashed and
No holding back.
I wonder if this is worth the cost.
Fresh orders?
This is good. Bamboozle.
stand in my way. Very well.
Forever dauntless. No holding back. No time to waste.
Shall we cut and run? With finesse.
No time to waste.
Come on, can't stay idle.
Yes.
This is some fun.
Coming through.
Survival is all that matters. What path lies before me?
Unleash me. A bold maneuver.
Time to kill. On my way.
it is. The crown. The very thing that has been amplifying the Netherbrain's power. And the very place that we will be able to dominate it. That's where we should use the Netherstones.
Is there no end to these horrors?
There you are. The rat catcher. The avenging exile. The pride of Baldur's Gate. Murder incarnate. You are spectacular specimens. And you will make spectacular thralls.
Quick! It must be dominated! Cast the spell! Now's the time, Councillor Florrick!
No time to waste.
Let's have some fun.
Transform. Reunite.
My victims await.
Transform.
A bold maneuver. Another fight. Let's go. Fresh orders? not fail.
Cut and run. Time to move.
You've made a grave mistake.
our chance.
Even bound, its will is stronger than anything you've ever felt. The chains shake, threatening to break at any moment.
It's vulnerable, but not defeated. Use the portal. We will bring it down together.
Absolute freedom!
This is it. Its will is weakened.
Transform. Execute.
Let's see what this does. This is it! Its will is weakening!
Checking it out.
Now is the chance. Its will is weakening. Eliminate the Netherbrain and let the Sword Coast be free.
Understood.
That's macabre. Let's not die.
There you are, you wretched thing! Time to die!
Exorgas!
Right away. Of course.
Let's turn someone inside out.
Nothing will stand in my way. These boots have seen everything.
Ready for battle.
Nothing important is ever easy.
No! Resist. Impossible! Pain! Fear! Terror! Reconsider! Assess! Implore! Surrender!
Subdued at last, it begs for its life.
Spare me. Join me. Wield me. Become absolute!
It pleads because it knows I'm its master. I will finish this.
The brain is on the cusp of its final thought, and it's taking all of the Emperor's strength to keep it there. An opportunity, perhaps.
I must obey. I must end.
shrieks and the screams of legions upon legions of unborn illithids. The pain rips through you, obliterating all thought, all feeling. Your tadpole burns in your brain. Silence. Free of urge and worm, your brain is battered and bruised. But it is yours. Yours at last. Everything you did, everything you sacrificed, it was worth it. For this.
I can't feel the tadpole. It's gone. We're free!
My powers, they're draining. Just like Mizora said they would. A small price to pay in the grand scheme of things.
We are free. No more gods or monsters. Except those of our own making.
My mind is clear. its burden lifted. When the Netherbrain died, the tadpoles died with it. No offense meant, of course. I can never forget what you did for us, for the city.
It makes little difference to me. I did what I had to secure my freedom. And in spite of your resistance to evolution, you have proved a good ally.
Skvar, you may have succeeded, but I have failed. Gith's son is dead, and Vlaakith has abandoned me. I will be hunted by her Inquisition to the ends of the world. I must leave. I have nothing more to gain by being here. The world looms before me. Never has it felt so vast and so empty. But at least it will be a world in which there is no grand design.
The Githyanki leave, at last. I feared they would make this world their own.
With the Githyanki gone, there's nothing left but the silence of the city, smoldering, waiting to be rebuilt. But it seems that Gale's mind is elsewhere.
The crown. It's somewhere in the Giontha. If I salvage the stones, I can reforge it. And once I have, I'll return it to Mystra. She'll cure me of my affliction, and I'll finally be free. And a more deserving one this time around. If this adventure has taught me anything, is that there are things in this world far more valuable than power. Besides, grown quite fond of this merry band of ours, but I'd quite like to see what happens to it. I'm sure Mystra will summon me soon enough, but until then, I propose we celebrate our victory the mortal way, with a drink in our hands and reckless abandon in our hearts.
Who wins the bet? Wizards are not entirely boring. Well, my friend, what do you say?
Yes. We should see if the elf song's still standing. I won't imbibe, but I'll be happy to be away from here. And in your company.
I will not be joining you. I fear my presence will be no more welcome in the streets of the city than it ever was. I will miss you, too.
Now that you no longer live in each other's minds, it's hard to tell if the Mind Flayer is being sincere, though perhaps no harder than it ever was.
I honestly don't mind what we do once we get to the... Ow! What the... Oh, no. Oh, God. Well, it was nice when it lasted. Ah! I'm sorry. I have to go.
I doubt we'll ever see that face basking in the sun again.
We did it, soldier. The city's going to be all right. And so are you. Engine's finally cooked. Held on just long enough. So, So are you. My friend. My companion. I adore you. Careful! Hot! I never gave up. I did my best. I did my best. It's the one thing I can't beat, isn't it? I wanted to live in my city with my friends. But life is for the living. And I saw... Goodbye, son. Goodbye, sea. Goodbye. I'm ready. I stand back. I'm going to...
It's over. And it's all because of you. You, who were destined to become a thrall. Thanks to you, there will be no illithid empire, no death god's tyranny. You have earned your place amongst the legends of the Sword Coast. You are the saviors of Baldur's Gate. You slept like a babe straight through the night, dreamless, thoughtless, and almost entirely free. For the first time, you feel alone, calm. You breathe. Baal may have been your beginning, but he will not be your end. Of all those you killed in your father's name, one lingers in your mind even now. Alfira, the bard of the Emerald Grove. Her death weighs upon you still. A burden you will carry for the rest of your days. But fortunately, you will not have to carry it alone.
Hello, darling. I was just thinking about freedom. How I'm free of the parasite. Free of Cazador. How I'll never be in someone's power again. And all it cost was my life in the sun. Now I belong to the shadows. So, what happens next? True, the Spawn will need someone to lead them, otherwise they'll just be a murderous, blood-sucking horde. Although, I couldn't help but notice you said we should find them. Is that what you want? Is this what you want? I would understand if you wanted to go your own way. Good. Because, selfless as I am, I really did not want to let you go. We are rather excellent together, you know. And united, there is nothing we can't do. I can't say what the future holds for us, but I know we'll be facing it together. And we're going to have a lot of fun.
You have made a fortress in the Underdark with Astarion and other outcast vampire spawn. It is not civilized, it is not safe, but it is home. Few know how to find you, and most that do are unwelcome. So when a message arrives addressed to you both, you fear the worst. Hunters, killers, tormentors. But you need not fear. This letter is an invitation, and it comes from a friend. Written in a frail hand, it requests your presence at a gathering of your former allies, those who stood with you against the Absolute. The journey to the surface is long and perilous, but you would not miss this for the world.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight, fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon, wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
The last time I heard the Ballad of the Endless Spring performed. You made it! Now the revelry can truly begin.
I'm flattered by the attention, darling, but don't you want to check in with some of our erstwhile companions? I'm sure they've missed you.
I'm glad for it. For this. For 2 months I trained the Knights of the Comet. For 2 more I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head. We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Wyll and Minthara. Not a what, but a who. The immortal god king of the Githzerai, an exiled people. Once kin with mine, until the madness of civil war ripped our one sky into 2. Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to Minthara through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. my blade as keen as ever. But it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. Minthara Gith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. And if he refuses, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm. I suppose it is, rather. I'm just glad to be here at all. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents, a few stolen psi crystals, and 2 10 days of effort to conjure my projection. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This... Faerûn. More to the point, I missed you. I wouldn't even deny it with Vlaakith's vorpal blade at my neck. Though, I'd rather it not come to that. Now go. Mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. But don't think you've seen the last of me. I'll be back. Sure as the comet will rise. Sure as Kalir will forever circle the sun.
There you are. I was hoping you'd make your way over.
To your relief, your projection holds. You can touch, taste the Githzerai. Should the Githzerai...
What's the word on the rebellion? I presume you've cracked open more Kithraki heads than you could possibly count. Then you did keep count. I should have known you would. I'm afraid since we last met, my corpse count remains a paltry 0. Unless you count the boars I felled on ducal hunts. Rebuilding a city requires a politic mind. A sharp soldering blade, not so much. Bargains must be made. Coin must change hands. Tongues must be held in check. Father leaves me to my own devices, though he's got no shortage of advice when I ask for it. Still, I make the decisions I see fit. The ones I think will restore the city to glory. I serve only Baldur's Gate, not a devil of the first hell. I've had more than a few challenges, given the horns sprouting from my head. The people know me as one of the champions who saved their beloved city. They know Ravengard blood flows through my veins. The patriarchs, the aristocracy, the councils of Waterdeep and Arm, their arms aren't so wide open. Still, there's no friction that can't be greased with a sly promise or a proposition. Disbanded, to be formed anew. I don't expect a soldier or street sweeper to see through the schemes of a tyrant like Gortash. But the city's lords and ladies were all too eager to abandon their oaths and bend the knee. My father, Older Ravengard, is now Grand Duke of the Triad, Keeper of the Fist. Floric is now Grand Duke of the Crossing, the face of devotion. And I am Wyll Ravengard, Grand Duke of the Worm, Heart of the Gate. We will yet be 4. Until such time and after, we will enact the will of the People's Parliament. Baldur's Gate is nothing without its citizens, both in the upper and lower. Our duty is to them, and only them. Father's back in his element, commanding the flaming fist with as brave a heart as ever, and delivered them nary a scolding nor lashing. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last Fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart. The jewel of the coast will shine ever bright, welcoming the weak and the weary from wherever they hail. We are building new housing, not just shanties, but homes where families can rest their heads, plant gardens, pursue happiness. Amazing what can be done when Parliament and the Council pressure the upper city elites to open their coffers. I'm sure the Silver Shields can make do without a few more jeweled crowns. Of course. I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side. Never. The hexes and eldritch blasts, losing them took getting used to. They left behind a cold abyss where fire once raged. So I stoked a new one. Now the burning comes from within me, not from the depths of Avernus. Go on, the night's young. You shouldn't waste a moment of it. Or waste a single drop of wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oops, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
You have managed to survive without me. A welcome surprise. I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
Starting to wonder if you'd show up. In all likelihood, it will be. But we mustn't let that stop us. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it. Filled out and healthy is what I was going for. Don't tell me you miss living off whatever scraps we found in crates and barrels. I'm glad you seem well. Truly. Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister. One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of Selûne in existence. It seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents, on where they came from. And where I came from too, I suppose. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. God, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long. We had tea on his balcony. Tara even deigned to sit on my lap for a while. You know, I think entire forests must have been felled to quench that man's thirst for books. He seems to be doing well. In his element. Well, I've had run-ins with my former fellow Sharans on a couple of occasions. Word seems to have spread of what happened at the cloister. Now other chapters of Shar worshippers see me as a prime target to offer up to their lady as a sacrifice. Don't worry. I know their tired old tricks better than anyone. They'll need more than a hooded cloak and poisoned blade to best me. Especially when I have a friend on the inside keeping me abreast of their predictable little plans. None other. The matter of her faith and allegiances remains complicated, let's say. But she is still my oldest friend. I have hopes that perhaps she might turn from Shar entirely given time. But that's a decision she will have to make for herself. If that day comes, I'll be ready. Must I? You presume a great deal. I'm joking. Of course I want to know. Tell me all. I can imagine. A celebrity in their midst. They must have raised their voices from whispers to faint murmurs. Hopefully, these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I miss the tadpoles, but at least it brought us together. Now we've got to make the extra effort ourselves. Don't remind me. Someone's always got somewhere else to be. But let's do our best all the same. After all, we've faced down bigger threats than wrangling together a few social calendars. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, I would kill for a glass of Ulava wine. I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited. I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste of some things.
Oh, I've seen every corner of the realms. I just know what I like.
And that's my mother's sitting room.
And the dining table, and the hearth, and above all...
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance. Well, that was quite lovely. I'm glad you're as pleased to see me as I am you. I have to say, I'm quite grateful to just be Gale for the evening. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them. Or the fear of Mystra, to be more specific. I surrendered the crown of Carsus to her, as I told you I would. And in return, she cured me of the orb at last. Even now, I struggle to put the feelings into words. It was like exhaling for the first time after holding my breath for so very long. Of course, I haven't clarified with my students that the orb is no longer a threat. The legend of my explosive capabilities is an excellent means of controlling a classroom. Too good, if anything. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils. Ah, so you still remember our little lesson. It was at that moment, the weave connecting us, that I realized how much your friendship had come to mean to me. As it still does. Teaching you was hardly an effort at all. Not like my present cohort of apprentices. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake.
The cheek of them! Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned? And I couldn't be happier for you. A fitting reward for the sacrifices you made in getting here. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'd be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you. I don't see why not. Two heads are better than one. Unless you're dealing with an Etin. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now. With time enough to come.
Have your associates always been so ugly?
Tara! Never knew you to be cruel.
I said it to you, not them.
I fear I am becoming a...
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more. We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. I cannot imagine otherwise after what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can. For I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day. True, we cannot. But we can make a future that bests even the fondest of memories. Then each reunion shall be all the sweeter. And who's to say we need to make such gatherings a rare occasion? My hearth is yours to warm yourself beside always. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing. In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together. Ah, my greatest purpose. and greatest reward. Those children have been through more than fate had any right to cast at them, and yet they go on as resilient as anything in nature. I impart what knowledge I can to them, yet, in truth, they teach me far more. The land we saved is theirs, and they will cherish it, I'm sure. Thaniel and Oliver shall never want for friends again. As am I. I may age more slowly than most, but I do believe I've gained some new laughter lines of late. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see. My charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake. I am all ears, though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image. You have kept yourself busy. I expected no less, in truth. I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. And should you wish to retell of your exploits in person, well, I shall not object to a night off. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else. On occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. Francesca of the High Forest is Archdruid now, and by all accounts, she has proven to be a steady and wise influence. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her influence. Quite often. They come and go as they please, but with so many playmates to avail of, they are far from strangers. They ask after you often. What you did for them will never be forgotten. I can see it in the land all around me. But more importantly, I see it in their faces whenever they visit. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods, as far as I'm concerned. I spend half my days in ursine form. The children demand it. I had a score of them taking turns riding upon my back just days ago. I'm glad they are so comfortable with the Oakfather's creations. But they must learn that not all are as amiable as I am. A lesson for another time, though. They deserve some joy. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled, I must admit. Perhaps because I have found where I am meant to be. As did I, but somehow I feel like I no longer need to roam. That I have found something worthy laying roots for. Amazing what can be discovered about oneself, even at a ripe old age. Of course. If only we could stay like that forever. Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company. Oh, I am well aware, trust me. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on, enjoy the festivities.
So, here we are. A gathering of allies at a cold campsite with no servants to attend us and few luxuries to enjoy. Ah, we could have been conquerors. We could have ruled these realms as gods. Do you ever regret that we did not take control of the Netherbrain? Do you think of all rulers as monsters? Conquest need not end in blood and ashes. You could have built a greater world than this. I shall not dwell on the past, though. The future is unwritten and rich with possibilities. I feared that returning to the Underdark as an apostate of Lolth would be an act of madness. Perhaps it was. If so, it is a madness that fits me well. Rebels swarm to my cause, and even if it takes centuries, I will reclaim my house in Menzoberranzan. And make the Spider Queen bleed. This night shall be done sooner than any of us would like. I hope we meet again.
Well now, you can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to. Ah, how nice to be understood again. I have spent the past months bickering with builders and bankers, all to restore the city exactly as it was. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers, same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon, same cisterns overflowing, huh? An empty throne, thanks to you. The city will not be long in burying it. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three, but nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two, if they don't expel her. Again. There is still much to do. People to house. A Harper network to rebuild. I may have little love for this city, but so long as my family chooses to serve it, I can do no less. But I see the flush in your cheeks when I speak of family. Perhaps you mean to start one of your own. Oh, I don't want to watch over a blood match where the jewelers call me Auntie. Just be careful, Valspawn. All right, bald child. It is true you are no longer what you were. You have done well for yourself. For all your travels, I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you. Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs. I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
Oh, I would kill for a glass of lava.
These familiar faces.
Boo! We are not dreaming! It is our old friend! Oh, and it is good to be seen. Oh, after so many days down in the dark, Minsk began to wonder if he was some blind bug who had only dreamed himself to be large and bulksome. You will forgive the aroma, I hope. We were not expecting the Dusty One to open a portal to our very cell. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk to cover. Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. We guard the streets, while Jaheira is occupied with harperish matters. The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsk and Boo went to give them a tickle. There were harsh words, battle cries, some manner of head wound. We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble combat. Execution, says Boo, though I am not sure of the difference. It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still has his fists, no? Minsk and Boo agree to disagree. But leave such matters for the morn. Tonight is for celebration and the telling of tales. How have you filled your days since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky? A powerful pairing. If love cannot cure a vampire, what can? Oh, Boo suggests a variety of arcane remedies, but love is the most potent, and by far the easiest to pronounce. There is much merriment to be made before the night is done. Go, and greet the others. Minsk shall make himself presentable. Ah, this pond shall do nicely, Boo, though I see no soap. So you shall have to blow the bubbles for me.
And crates for supplies when he could source these.
Good wine. I wish it could last forever.
I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
Oh, I would kill for a glass of lava wine. I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
This has a keen eye for a nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these?
I fear I am becoming accustomed
when we
to the
had
taste of
14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited. I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not. expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited. I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
Withers has a keen eye for a nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these? God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale
I
loaf
expect
of
there
bread
have been
just to
other
get by.
reunions to which I was not invited.
Thanks be to Withers. Even a duke deserves a night off.
Oh, I would kill for a glass of Ulava wine.
With haste.
I expect there have been.
And how have our friends fared without us? I'm glad. It would be so easy to go through everything we did and come out the other side bitter and twisted. But they deserve happiness. We all do. And I will forever be grateful to have found it with you. I do feel a little bad keeping you all to myself. After all, I get to see you every night. Go on, go mingle. Enjoy your time with the others. Bless them with your presence. I'll be here when you're ready. I'll always be here, my love.
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice. Go on then. What should I play? Fine. It's your party after all.
I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste of sun-fed humans.
Withers has a keen eye for a nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he...
Ah, it's the star of the show. Our humble protagonist who forsook Baal to save the city. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post. Busy as ever. Better that than the reverse, wouldn't you say? Every major publishing house on the Sword Coast has been vying for my upcoming book on the subject of our adventures together.
I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form. You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think? Me? It's all Volo as far as I'm concerned. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Hmm? Ah, your success really has been wonderful for my reputation. But you mustn't let me hog your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in.
There's something strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it? A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism. He whines. Less talk, more throw. Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement.
I expect there have been others. I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste of sun-fed plants. I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste of sun-fed plants. I expect there have been others.
Thou feelst it still. She is not here. She who was the boldest. Hast thy thoughts been with brave Karlach often? She would not come. Correct. Not in planes material, elemental, nor transitive can her like be found. In but 10 days, an entire life was lived. More than mortal years. Mortal centuries were hers. Thy band, thy bond, gave that life to her. Not like thou wert her kin. It was written in her heart. Surely thou knowest that. In the fugue plane, her soul burns so bright, it pains the gods to look upon. Recall that in time, all changeth and all is rejoined. Thou shalt be with her again. Yes. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you. There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou sought to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become Mind Flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools. Everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals. I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.